What's up, y'all? We're back. Winter break's coming to an end, and we're back into the content for college as this next semester approaches. I know some of you are already in it. My semester starts on Monday, but today's topic is 3 ways to create free time specifically. Um, I'm going to follow this up with videos on how to spend that time, but this one's specifically about creating free time. I guess maximizing your time, using it more efficiently. Um, it's not exactly 3 ways that are distinct and separate. It's 3 connected ways that I kind of use, um, and they are partially derived from my economics and finance knowledge, just so you know. But I would say step one, not even method one, just step one, would be budgeting your time. Uh, we've all got 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, and if you quantify all of that, you kind of just put it onto paper and determine, what time you're spending on what. That's a great way to start, cutting out, useless wastes of time. I mean, it's the same thing we do in personal finance when you're finding out, what kind of expenditures do you have that aren't really necessary. Time is actually what I consider the most valuable human resource. So it only makes sense to budget your time in that way. And what I do, or at least what I did, was I literally, when I was in high school, I put down on paper what I would do in a day, like every day of the week, because every day of the week is different. Or at least there's some sets of days that are similar but distinct. I mean, Mondays and Wednesday classes, Mondays and Wednesdays are going to look similar. Tuesdays and Thursdays, same thing. Um, we all have reoccurring events weekly. I've got church, we've got class, you've got work. If you have a fixed schedule, that's work. Um, but besides those necessities, after you draw those out on paper, you see how many quote unquote hours you have left. And when I did that, it was very shocking because, I mean, school and work at my high school time didn't even take up, I think it took up about like a third of my, 168 hours a week. And so it's just like you spend a third sleeping, a third doing school and work, and then where the heck does the other third of your life go? When I did that and I broke into it, I figured out that I'm just sitting here on the couch, I mean, playing chess, watching YouTube, doing whatever, and those kinds of wastes of time. Sure, I mean, it's what everyone does, it's pleasure, you just watch your TikToks, do whatever you do, but you could spend that time investing in yourself. Um, there's so many better things to do than just sitting around. I mean, I would even argue that I'm right now sitting around. Um, I'll make the excuse that I was watching finance videos, which I was, but I'm also sitting eating Chips Ahoy cookies. So, uh, but we all undeniably waste time just sitting around, not being active, not using our bodies or our minds at all. And that's just, I don't know. It's something that everyone does, but I think we should stop because we all have a very limited amount of time. I mean, not to, say that we're all gonna die soon. We kind of are, but it's just like time isn't infinite for us, so don't waste it. Seems pretty straightforward to me. Step two, I kind of already wiggled into it, but for me, found out I was wasting a third of all of my time regularly, day by day, week by week, which is really surprising because if you sleep for 6 to 8 to 10 hours, go to school, and this is college. We're talking about you go to class for, I don't know, what, 3 hours a day or something. You got 2 or 3 classes. It might be anywhere between three, maybe even just 1.5 or 5 hours. Um, Certainly not high school where they forced you to be there for freaking 7 hours a day. That sucked. Totally useless system. But college, because this is a college account, um, you're sleeping for, let's just say, a third, class is less than a third, work, I mean, you might bust out an 8 hour shift, so that's, on a good day. If you work harder, that's great. I've had days where I work 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., 16 hours on the clock or whatever the heck that math is. Technically, I get breaks, so it's probably more like 14, but whatever. Um, if you're working the entire day, that's great. But average of an 8 hour shift a day, it's like you still have at least 6 hours of existing, and you could say I do homework, I do whatever, and we all have our hobbies. Um, Hobbies aren't exactly waste of time, but limiting yourself to not just watching a bunch of TikToks, but instead reading a book on your phone. um, like the things that at least have some sort of productivity, instead of just kind of feeding into the mindless enjoyment, um, of social media and technology and whatnot. And I'm not saying cut out, video games completely. If you want to go play your Fortnite, go play your Fortnite. But you do have to start using your time to invest in yourself. Otherwise, you're just going to be someone that's, stagnant, that, never progresses in anything. And if we're being quite honest, the best way to learn is to teach yourself. I mean, that same internet that you use to, um, watch your stupid TikTok videos on, whatever, dancing or cooking or something. That, same system has all the knowledge you need to go help people, help yourself, invest, do whatever you want to do that actually is progressive in life instead of just consuming hours of mindless content. Um, Wiggling, I guess, into number three, or step three, I would try to, or I do try to create patterns, um, in your life. So if you kind of, it's like with your budget, if you allot all of your money into certain categories, it just kind of goes there. One, you know where it's going, and two, it makes it easier for it to actually to reach its destination. So if you say, hey man, I'm going to bed at 10, 11, 12, waking up at 8, 9, whatever for class. If you've got 9:30 class, wake up at 9 something. 8 a.m. class, you suck. Don't take an 8 a.m. class, nerds. Um, but it's like if you're gonna have 8 hours, 9 hours of sleep, maybe 10 if you're feeling crazy. I know most of us don't get that, but you can if you use your time well enough. I've certainly have, and I tried to. At least I would like to get back to it. This break has been crazy for work, but you know, you determine, hey, this is how long I'm gonna sleep, or at least try to sleep. Um, when you have your classes, when you're scheduled to work. Quantify how long it's gonna take you to do all of your homework. You know, break, don't procrastinate. Break apart your essay work or whatever, your projects, over the course of, whatever period of time you have to give it done before the due date. Um, Assign every minute of your time in a day to something, and then see through it that that is how that time is spent. If you do that, you'll find that any waste of time is mostly your fault. I mean, you can run into things, we might not calculate for traffic or seeing a random person that we just so happen to know from something and talking to them, and it's not like insanely strict of a budget. And of course, you're gonna have your free time, like I said, but if you take your big things, um, and then you put those in, and then you find out the time that you have left over, then you can kind of just make that time productivity time, and you can say for the 4, 5, 6, however many hours I have a day that are quote unquote free, whether that's all in one big block because after you get everything done for the day, you're done, and you're just sitting there before you go to bed, or if that's sprinkled throughout the day because you have gaps in your schedule and you have class in the morning and then you got something in the afternoon and then you have work at night, whether that's all together or sprinkled throughout the day, um, give yourself something to do during that time. And then if something, more pressing or more important or more rewarding gets in the way of that, that's totally fine. But either way, that's better than just sitting on your phone, playing your games, doing whatever, just excessive indulgence. And because worst case scenario, you get caught up on your homework and you're actually, on time for all of your classes. Best case scenario, you're sitting there reading an enjoyable book or, taking notes on how to strengthen your mind, meditate, whatever, self improvement, gym stuff, gym stuff, fitness, anything that's actually beneficial to you as a person instead of just watching people do the little trendy wiggles on, social media. But yeah, I worked 8 hours today. I got work tomorrow, so I guess that'll be that for the night. Just wanted to crack into something to start of the semester. I guess I'll actually try to make something out of this account if I can get my big brain to stick with it. But I appreciate your time. If you're here, if you're watching me ever at any point, I don't know. Hello. Just a young guy trying to make stuff happen. So, see you guys in the next one. Love you.